Hello, my beautiful rock stars. It's your girl Rocqi, your revolutionary hippie from LifeIsRocqi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and help me get monetized. All right, so exciting news. I'm pregnant. What? Woo! So yes, beautiful people, I am pregnant. And so this is going to be posted after we publicly come out and share the exciting news with our family and friends first, and then with the public. So this is going to be a delayed video as far as timing. But yes, so let me give you all the logistics. I'm super excited. The first time I found out, which I will tell you about in a minute, I was shocked. And like I had a breakdown in front of the mirror where I was like, this, like, me looking at me, this is me as a mom now. Like, oh my God, this is what I look like as a mom. So crying and just, yeah. So, all right, story time. So let me check to see. Okay, I think we're good on time. But all right, so we were trying for about 6 months. And I was taking prenatal vitamins. I show it in one of my shorts. Let me show you. It's a Rainbow Light prenatal vitamins. You can see that. It might be backwards in the camera. But it's multivitamin, rainbow superfoods blend and probiotics. Nourishes mom's health and baby's development with folate, calcium, and iron. And it's vegetarian because that's how I roll. And then they also have the duo pack that comes with the omega-3 fish oil. And the tablet is about that size. And then the soft gel is about that size, if you can see it comparatively. So this one is a little bit big, but I'm good with my nausea, so I can take the pill, so it works. But all right, so let's see, as far as the news. So I had scheduled a doctor's appointment after my husband and I got back from our honeymoon. And that's because I have high blood pressure. I've been diagnosed with chronic high blood pressure since 2016. And I've been medicated since then. So, and it's like, it's been an issue for majority of my life. It's been a concern when I was in adolescence. But then they was like, unless you're trying to have a stroke, which I was not, they was like, you need to be medicated because exercise, diet, it runs in my family on both sides. It was just a matter of time, honestly. So we'll see how this affects the pregnancy. But anyways, I had a doctor's appointment because I needed refills on my blood pressure medication and I needed to go see the doctor for that. So I had scheduled an appointment like the first week back from my honeymoon. And while I was there, we had been trying for 6 months. Like, I was aware of when I was ovulating. I was taking my prenatal vitamins. I had cut out drinking. I had cut out smoking. And we still weren't getting pregnant. And I know they say to wait till a year, but I was at the doctor's office anyway. So I was like, let's run some fertility tests just to put my mind at ease, you know? But I was also testing for STDs because we also are polyamorous, so I regularly get those checked up. So whenever I go to the doctor, I'm like, hey, run that bitch. So when I did the P test, I said to the nurse that we were trying, and she was like, oh, did you want me to do a pregnancy test? I was like, go ahead. But I was convinced at that point that I wasn't pregnant. And that's because, hold on one sec, my roommate's coming through the door. We haven't told her yet. Hold on. So like throughout the process of trying, it's actually been a struggle for me because one, did you know that period symptoms and pregnancy symptoms are high-key similar? Like the hell? I mean, I understand our menstrual cycles are preparing us, like literally cramps to contractions, you know? But still, it wasn't ideal for someone who's intentionally trying to get pregnant. You know, I'm just saying. So that being said, we had some, it's not even scares. We had some times where we thought I was pregnant and I wasn't, and that was a loss. Like the first time happened like in February of 2022, and like I was getting nauseous every single day for like a week and a half, and like I felt my abdomen expanding. There was several symptoms. I made a video about it, but yeah, I thought I was. And I was very sensitive to smell. Like, yeah, I thought I was. And I didn't, and we had a negative pregnancy test at that point. To this point, and my period came. So we were like, maybe I was, and then, you know, it just didn't take or what. But after that, it was like every time I was late. So if you start exercising, what period's gonna be late? You know, so it was like all these factors were coming in and making me think that I was pregnant, and I wasn't. So it was like having to deal with losses, even without like a defined miscarriage, right? So it was, I wanted to know. I wanted to put my mind at ease, because I had been on birth control for like 2 decades. So I was like, you know, when I was adamant about not having a baby, I was making sure, you know, but I didn't know how that was going to impact me. So I was like, you know what, let's just find out and figure it out. So all that to say, when I went to the doctor, I was convinced that I wasn't pregnant because I had, like, my period was late at that point when I went to the doctor. But because I've had all these experiences, I thought, again, I wasn't pregnant. Now I did have tender breasts right before I went to the doctor for like a few days before, consistently before I went to the doctor, but that is also a sign that my period's coming. And it only happened when my breasts grew, when I went up a cup size. That's the only time in my life that I've experienced tender breasts prior to my period coming. So that being said, yeah, I was convinced that I was not pregnant. So I was like, go ahead, test the urine, but I'm probably not pregnant, you know? So then my doctor came in, you know, we was, you know, just talking about all the stuff that I wanted to do. And she was like, oh, and it looks like your pregnancy test was positive. And I was like, wait, what? And she's like, let me check with the nurse. Peeked out the door. Yep. It was positive. You're pregnant. And my first response was, holy shit. Because I was convinced that I was not pregnant. I was convinced. So the fact that she said it so nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, it was positive. You're pregnant. And I was like, holy shit. What? And then so she allowed me to call my husband. And then like I had just texted him and I was like, they're going to test, you know, to see if I'm pregnant, right? So I called him and I was like, I wonder if he gonna connect those dots. But he said he didn't expect it at all. And I was just like, baby, I'm pregnant. And I just started crying. And then he was all full of joy and happy. And later, because I had to get blood work done for the STD testing, he was like, come home, I need to love on you. I was like, I'm almost done. But yeah, so when I got home, so the doctor, because I was supposed to get a physical that day, and she was like, well, we don't give physicals to pregnant women. And I was like, okay. So we talked about what my options were as far as OBGYNs, as far as what hospital to deliver at, things like that. So yeah, it was more so like just finalizing that and just moving forward. Yeah, I don't think anything else really happened with the doctor. But then when I came home, and then when I went to get my lab work, so my doctor used to be a lovely Asian woman and I loved her. We had a great connection, but I think she stopped practicing for a while because COVID really impacted her and her family. So prayers for her and her family. But because of that, I had to get a new doctor. This one, we don't really have a connection like that, so it is what it is. But when I went to the lab technician for my blood work, it was a Black woman and I was just so excited. So she's like, how's your Wednesday going? And I was like, well, I just found out I'm pregnant. So it was so nice to have another Black woman to talk about that experience with. And apparently she had 5 children, all naturally, at home too. And we talked about, you know, Black maternal health and things like that. And, you know, she was giving me suggestions. She was like prenatal yoga, walking, drink lots of water. She said she was on all fours when she delivered and she didn't have any tearing. And yeah, just, it was so comforting to be able to talk to a Black woman in that point in time. Like, I had just found out, literally walked from the doctor's office, went over to the lab workplace. So yeah, it was really nice. I appreciated that. So yeah, I came home, hugged my baby up. He was crying, and yeah, we had a moment of tenderness. And then I had a pregnancy test at home already because, again, we had been trying for 6 months. So so I took the pregnancy test and we filmed that. So check that out. The video's out. And yeah, it confirmed that I was pregnant again. And we're really excited. We're really excited. And which is interesting, at separate times, we both referred to our baby as Little One. So we were like, okay, that's going to be their nickname moving forward, Little One. Because we both said it separately. Like, hey, Little One, you know, so that's what we're going to call our baby. First, I was against finding out the gender, but my husband really wants to know. So I don't mind it. It's just I want to get to know their spirit and who they are. So I said, okay, we can find out the gender, but let's not name them yet until we get to know more of their spirit. But I don't want to leave the hospital before naming them because I don't want to deal with that paperwork. So probably take the day when I do deliver and get to know them some more outside of the womb, and then we'll name them. But yeah, we can find out the sex. Sorry for all the gender identities. Find out the sex of the baby. But yeah. So let's see. So we took the pregnancy test, and it turns out that we conceived. So, okay, here's what happened. So we had took a break from having sex prior to the wedding, right? So I wanted, I think 6 weeks. I think I wanted to take a break. I think that wasn't happening. So I think it got down to 3 weeks and we took a break prior to the wedding from having sex. And what happened was the week before our wedding, both of my short stories qualified for the contest. And he wanted to congratulate me. And I was like, oh, well, this deserves some celebration. So we had sex. So he had not been masturbating or having sex during that time. So it might have been a lot, you know. And he had also been cutting down on smoking weed, which is one of my concerns because they said that, you know, weed impacts sperm movement, I think. So it could have either been that day or our wedding night, which he did rose petals and spelled "I love you" or "I heart you" on the pillows of his room. So that was really nice because yeah, we were home for our wedding night, so it was nice that he did something special, and also, you know, lights, scents, all that stuff. So it was nice that he did the rose petals. That was really sweet. So yeah, it could have been either our congratulatory sex for my short stories qualifying for the contest, could have been our wedding night, or it could have been the first week we were on our honeymoon. We went to St. Augustine, Florida, which was really nice. I went there for a solo spring break trip in undergrad for senior year of undergrad. So it was nice to go back, and because it's beautiful place. It was nice to go back and share it with him, and he loved it too. It said it reminded him of Guyana. So yeah. So yeah, could have been that first week because I had my lingeries and I had toys and stuff. So could have been that first week. But yeah, so that's when we conceived. As far as my pregnancy symptoms, like I said, I had the tender breasts in week 4 before I was confirmed to be pregnant. And then let's see what else. What else happened? I did have a couple bouts of nausea prior to the wedding. And then I think, oh, right, I didn't tell y'all this. So our second week of our honeymoon, so we stayed for like 12 days. My husband randomly woke up in the middle of the night, turned to me and was like, don't drink tomorrow. And I was like, okay, like I'm half asleep. Okay. You know? And so while I'm learning to trust his intuition and his tapped inness, because he tapped in to the universe, okay, which I appreciate, but I'm starting to like, okay, I trust it, you know. So I didn't drink. However, I had some rum-soaked dessert, and I immediately was like nauseous, gagging, all that stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm done, right? Because you know, during the wedding and the honeymoon, I was drinking, right? So I think we got back, and I did smoke weed too. So we'll see how that affects the little one. I had a couple of days of smoking. But once we found out, I was like, okay, everything, you know, no more. But yeah, the fact that he called that, and that might have been like when we actually, not the fertilization of the egg, but more the implantation. I think time frame, that's where it was looking like when he woke up and told me that. So very fascinating. And then so I had some bouts of nausea, which I use this. It's Mega Food Baby and Me Too Morning Sickness Nausea Relief, and they're soft chews, and they're honey lemon ginger, and they're really good. They help me both when I thought I was pregnant back in February, as well as when I have my bouts of nausea now. Oh, let me decline that. Okay. Still recording? All right. So that is very helpful for me. Yeah, whenever I have it, it immediately soothes my stomach. So I use that. And they're tasty too. But yeah, so that helps. And then what else have I had? So now I'm in week 5 of pregnancy. So yeah, I've had the tender breasts, I had some nausea, but thankfully it's not consistent. Thankfully it's not vomiting. Like, I will take that. Thank you. But as a reminder, every body is different with each pregnancy as well. So, you know, to each his own, but this is my experience. Let me know your pregnancy symptoms in the first trimester in the comments below. All right, so let's see what else. I had some mild cramping, which is also why I thought I wasn't pregnant, because I thought my period was coming, because cramps are usually the sign that my period is coming. So I did have some mild cramping in week 4. We'll see, because I just started week 5, so we'll see if I have some mild cramping this week. Definitely my breasts aren't as tender, but my nipples are really sensitive right now. So there's that. Anything else? Any other symptoms? I think that's all I can think of. Oh, frequent urination is definitely a thing. Pregnancy constipation hit me hard in week 4, which I was like, what the fuck is this? Especially before I knew I was pregnant. I was like, what the hell? The hell? Now I'm like, oh, this is a thing. So pregnancy constipation, pregnancy fatigue, like a one little task wiped me the fuck out. Like, I gotta take a nap for hours, you know? Like, it's like, what the hell? But I know all of this is because I'm making a baby. I'm making a human life. I am a vessel right now, creating life inside of me. Are you like, can we just pause and appreciate women? I will say women, but you know, all female assigned at birth bodies. Like, can we appreciate the vessels that we are? Like, sure, we needed that sperm. Yes. But like, this is where the magic is happening. Like, this is where everything is coming together, you know? Like, yeah. So, and like, we're portals. Like, a spirit from the universe comes in and becomes our baby, you know? Like, that's fucking crazy. And I'm like mammals too, because I'm big on nature documentaries. So I'll be watching mammals and their experience with pregnancy and childbirth, or offspring birth or just birth and babies and stuff. And it's just, we are amazing. Shout out, okay? Because yes, we are creating life. That is what's happening in here. So yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited. He's really excited. This does mean I can't go to my niece's wedding, which I actually really am sad about. I really wanted to go to her wedding, especially because I've been, witnessing her journey with her fiance. And I'm really happy for them. And it was going to be a destination wedding in Jamaica, but it is what it is. Cause like my due date is like 2 days after her wedding. So, and I don't think we're allowed to fly internationally past 7 months. So that saddens me, a lot. And actually, like, after our honeymoon, I was like, well, if I'm not pregnant now, then we can stop trying. Because I got their save the date. So I was like, we can stop trying until, like, a little months out. So, like, yeah, I'll be prior to 7 months before the wedding. But pregnant now. So it is a loss that I have to mourn and grieve. And, when I share the news with her, I have to tell her that as well. So that sucks. It really does. But I'm also happy to have a baby. So it is what it is. Something just to accept. But otherwise, yes, we're really happy. I've been singing my Swahili lullaby in the morning and night. So even though the baby can't hear me right now, they will get used to that particular language as well as that rhythm. So when they are born, they can go to fuck sleep because they are soothed and comforted with something that is known and familiar. And then my husband is talking to my belly, to the little one, and stuff like that. So yeah, we're really excited. We have our first OBGYN prenatal appointment scheduled. So we'll see how it goes. It's an Asian doctor. So I am going to talk to her about what her knowledge is of Black maternal health disparities, We do want a doula. I want a doula. But I probably will be at the hospital just because of my high blood pressure. So we got to talk more about that. But yeah, so right now I'm in week 5. It's an exciting journey. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How did you find out you were pregnant? Was your partner supportive? What was that experience of trying to conceive? What were your pregnancy symptoms? What was your first prenatal visit like? What was your doctor like? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. I'm excited for this journey into motherhood. Like, I've been prepping for this. Going to Mommy Fever playlists. Like, I've been prepping for this. I took my child development class last semester. I'm taking another one. I think this one is on curriculum. Because I'll be staying home with our children for the first 5 years of life. So I will be their daycare. So I need to know what I'm doing. So yeah, like I've been prepping for this, So I'm really excited. He's really excited. And like, it happened on our honeymoon. We just got married. So this is definitely moving forward. And then our baby will also have cousins because their little cousin was born in May or June of last year. So be less than a year apart. So yeah, cousins. We have our niece here. We'll see how she reacts when she finds out that we're pregnant. Yeah, just super excited, super happy, blessed, honored, deeply, deeply honored. Thankful. And yeah, I pour energy into a healthy pregnancy, a healthy delivery, a healthy baby, and a healthy mommy. But all right, beautiful people, you take care of you. And yeah, light and love.